Every NFL draft has its stars. The first pick, a future face of the league. The top 10, loaded with talent and headlines. But what about the very last name called? Usually a footnote, a trivia answer, a guy most fans never even hear about. That's where Brock Purdy comes in. Pick number 262 in the 2022 draft. The final name. The league's official Mr. Irrelevant. The title was meant as a joke, a playful jab at the last guy standing, but for Purdy it was personal. While analysts dismissed him as just a camp arm, he took it as fuel. The scouts didn't like his size. They questioned his arm strength. They said he was too stiff in the pocket, too limited in upside. One scouting report literally said, he's a career backup if he's lucky. But behind the doubt was a quarterback who had started 48 games in college, who played with poise, read defenses like a vet, and kept showing up when it mattered. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't loud, but he had something you can't measure at a combine: belief. And the moment he walked into the 49ers building, that belief started turning heads. But no one, literally no one, could have predicted what would happen next. Brock Purdy wasn't just behind one guy on the depth chart, he was behind two. The 49ers started the 2022 season with Trey Lance, their prized first-rounder. He was the future, the mobile, rocket-armed quarterback they'd mortgaged draft picks to get. Behind him was Jimmy Garoppolo, the veteran with playoff experience and a Super Bowl appearance under his belt. And somewhere in the background, almost invisible, was Purdy, running scout team reps, wearing a red jersey in practice, throwing to guys who wouldn't even make the roster. He wasn't in the plans. He was barely in the building. Then everything flipped. First, Lance went down, a season-ending injury that shook the offense. Then, in Week 13, Garoppolo got crushed by a Miami defender, and just like that, he was out too. Suddenly, the 49ers turned to their third-string quarterback. No warm-up, no easing in, just, you're up. And here's the wild part. He didn't flinch. Purdy stepped in mid-game and out-dueled Tua Tagovailoa, one of the league's hottest quarterbacks. He threw for 2 touchdowns, moved the offense like a seasoned pro, and led the team to a blowout win in his NFL debut. But that wasn't a fluke, because what he did in the weeks after, that's when the league really started to panic. Brock Purdy wasn't supposed to be here, and yet there he was, starting for one of the NFL's most stacked team and playing like he owned the field. In his first official start, he went up against Tom Brady. Yes, that Tom Brady, the GOAT, 7 Super Bowl rings. Over 2 decades of dominance, most rookies would fold under that kind of pressure. Purdy, he torched the Buccaneers, threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for another, outplayed Brady in every phase of the game. The 49ers won 35-7. And suddenly people stopped calling him Mr. Irrelevant. They started asking, oh, wait, is this guy actually legit? And it wasn't just one good game. He kept winning every week, every defense, every challenge. He stayed cool in the pocket, dissected coverages, and made throws veterans still struggle with. It was like watching a veteran in a rookie jersey. The poise, the control, the decision-making, none of it made sense for a guy picked dead last. Analysts scrambled. Is it the system? Is it the coaching? Is he just lucky? But the more they doubted, the more Purdy delivered. And just when people thought he'd hit his ceiling, he took the 49ers somewhere no rookie had ever gone before. By January, Brock Purdy wasn't just filling in, he was leading the 49ers into the playoffs. As a rookie, as the final pick in the draft, as a third stringer who wasn't even supposed to dress on Sundays. The moment was massive, but Purdy, unshaken. In the wild card round, he lit up the Seahawks with 332 yards and 4 total touchdowns. Calm, focused, surgical. The 49ers offense looked unstoppable. And suddenly, this irrelevant kid had his team looking like real contenders. Then came Dallas, one of the league's top defenses. The pressure dialed up. The stakes were higher. One mistake could end it all. But again, Purdy delivered. He didn't put up huge numbers, but he played mistake-free football. Smart reads, clutch throws. He kept the offense moving, made just enough plays, and let the 49ers defense do the rest. Final score, 19-12. 49ers advance. Purdy stays perfect. Just like that, the guy nobody believed in had taken San Francisco to the NFC Championship game. No rookie quarterback had ever done it like this. Not Mahomes, not Burrow, not even Brady. Purdy was in a league of his own, but what happened next would change everything. It was supposed to be the final chapter of a Cinderella story. The NFC Championship game, one win away from the Super Bowl, but just 6 snaps into the game against the Philadelphia Eagles, everything unraveled. On a routine play, Purdy dropped back to pass and got crushed by Hassan Reddick. At first it looked like a normal sack, but something was wrong. He tried throwing on the sideline, but the ball barely left his hand. He couldn't throw at all. The hit had torn the UCL in his elbow, the same ligament pitchers injure in baseball. It was devastating. In a matter of minutes, the 49ers offense was paralyzed. They cycled through backup after backup, even forcing Purdy back into the game just to hand the ball off. He couldn't throw more than 5 yards. The 49ers were helpless. The dream season was over, and just like that, the kid who came out of nowhere, who'd shocked the league, who'd never lost a start, was done, not just for the game, but potentially for the entire next season. It was a brutal, sudden end, and everyone asked the same question. Was it all just a flash in the pan? But what came next? That's where the story gets even crazier. Most guys don't come back the same after a torn UCL, especially not quarterbacks, especially not ones who were never supposed to be stars in the first place. But Brock Purdy didn't waste time feeling sorry for himself. While the NFL world debated whether his run was real or just lightning in a bottle, he got to work. Surgery, rehab, tape study. Day by day, he clawed his way back, and when the 2023 season kicked off, just 7 months after his injury, he was back under center. No delay, no excuses. Ready to prove it wasn't a fluke, and what did he do? He picked up right where he left off. By midseason, the 49ers were dominating. Purdy was throwing darts, extending plays, and running the offense like a veteran. He wasn't just managing games, he was winning them with style, with composure, and with the same calm, precise confidence that had stunned the league a year earlier. Critics silenced, doubters quiet, because there was no more system quarterback talk, no more he's just a backup. He was the guy, and he was playing like one of the best QBs in football. But even after all that, there's still one thing missing, and it's the only thing he's been chasing since day one. For all the headlines, for all the wins, for all the doubters he shut up, there's still one thing Brock Purdy hasn't done: win a Super Bowl. And for him, that's the only goal that matters. Not proving the scouts wrong, not silencing the internet, not even earning a long-term starting job, because by now, that's already his. What drives him is legacy. And in San Francisco, a city with 5 Super Bowl rings and legends like Joe Montana and Steve Young, you don't become the guy until you bring home a trophy. Purdy knows that. He's never been the most athletic, never had the strongest arm, never had the hype. But what he's always had is this: a chip on his shoulder and a fire that doesn't go out. And the scary part, he's just getting started. Brock Purdy's journey is unlike any other. From the last pick in the draft, dismissed and doubted, to a playoff hero and the 49ers' undeniable leader, he's rewritten the narrative for every underdog out there. His story shows that sometimes the stats don't tell the full story, that heart, grit, and belief can break through any barrier. That being labeled irrelevant doesn't mean you have to stay that way. But maybe the most powerful part? Purdy's journey is still unfolding. The biggest chapters are yet to be written. And if there's one thing we've learned, it's this: never underestimate the last pick, because sometimes they're the ones who end up changing the game. So next time you hear Mr. Irrelevant, remember Brock Purdy, the quarterback who made irrelevance impossible.